What happens when a demon king boards a high-speed train with nowhere to run and nowhere to hide? That is exactly the terrifying premise at the heart of this film, which wastes no time plunging its audience into darkness. This review explores Speed Demon, a supernatural horror thriller released on May 31st, 2026. The story follows Sister Lou, played by Katie Cassidy, a rebellious and deeply troubled nun whose faith has long been fraying at the edges. Alongside her is Father Novak, portrayed by the seasoned William H. Macy, an experienced and jaded exorcist doing his best to keep his struggling protege on the righteous path. The two board a train from Montreal to New York City, their relationship defined by friction, disagreement, and a barely contained professional tension. What should have been an unremarkable journey transforms into something far more sinister. Also making the trip is an archaeologist transporting a cursed statue, the physical vessel of Asmodeus, the Demon King. It is an unsuspecting little girl who first senses the darkness stirring, delivering an ominous warning just before the possession takes root. When Asmodeus escapes his inanimate prison, he seizes control of the speeding train, locking every passenger inside a hurtling metal coffin with a supernatural force of pure malevolence. One by one, passengers fall under demonic influence, transformed into possessed thralls that turn the train cars into a claustrophobic battlefield. Father Novak fights along Sister Lou, but the burden of salvation ultimately falls upon her shoulders alone. She must confront her substance abuse, her shattered faith, and the darkest corners of her own past. Director John Keyes, who previously helmed the 2024 thriller Cult Killer, builds the horror using practical demon effects and confined claustrophobic environments, rather than relying on big studio spectacle, a deliberate and largely effective choice for independent genre filmmaking. Written by Domenico Salvaggio, the screenplay threads a character-driven arc through the supernatural chaos, with Sister Lou ultimately forced to perform an exorcism, a rite historically reserved for men, becoming something of a warrior nun in the film's ferocious and thoroughly unexpected finale. Lead actress Katie Cassidy also served as a main producer on the film, bringing a genuine investment to the project, both in front of and behind the camera. Speed Demon is best suited for fans of supernatural horror who enjoy a faith versus evil narrative with strong action elements, and for audiences who appreciate independent horror with practical effects and a memorable, unhinged finale. Those seeking polished big-budget spectacle, narrative precision, or a more measured pace may find this one a tougher ride. The film is currently available to watch in select theaters and is accessible for rental and purchase on digital on-demand platforms.
What happens when a woman fighting her inner demons takes a job surrounded by the dead, only to discover that the darkness is far more literal than she ever imagined? This is the chilling world of The Mortuary Assistant, a 2026 American supernatural horror film. Welcome to KBM Review. The story centers on Rebecca Owens, a woman carrying a troubled past who has just earned her one-year sobriety chip from Narcotics Anonymous, a hard-won milestone that marks how far she has come. Her boss, Raymond Delver, calls her in for a night shift at the mortuary. Rebecca follows his instructions, embalming a body and then burning it, and immediately senses something is wrong. Why must a body be both embalmed and burned? That unsettling question is only the beginning. Strange things begin to unfold. Rebecca sees shadowy figures and suffers vivid hallucinations. She wakes at home to find her sponsor, Kelly, at the door. Kelly says Rebecca had called and asked her to come, but Rebecca has no memory of this. Without warning, Rebecca loses all control. Her eyes turn a sickly yellow and she violently attacks Kelly in a moment of horrifying possession. Raymond calls and tells her to return to the mortuary where it is safer. But when Rebecca opens the door to leave, Kelly is standing there, very much alive, having only just arrived. The attack never happened, or at least, not in the world Rebecca now faces.
To weaken you.
Back at the mortuary, Raymond begins explaining what is happening. But before he can finish, Rebecca's eyes close. When they open again, they're yellow. She turns on Raymond with terrifying force. He barely escapes, sealing her inside. Alone and momentarily free of the possession, Rebecca wanders the cold corridors and sees a vision of her late father. Raymond calls and instructs her to cut the wrist of a body and burn it, which she does, but it brings no relief. When Raymond calls again, he claims no knowledge of their previous conversation. His voice then darkens and instructs her to inject herself with embalming fluid. Rebecca refuses and descends to the basement, where she discovers a collection of recorded tapes. In them, the real Raymond explains that stopping a demon requires embalming it with a special reagent, blood drawn from a woman he has kept locked in a box, and then burning it. Rebecca awakens the next morning, still inside the mortuary. She finds the woman in the box and frees her with bolt cutters. The woman is hostile until Raymond appears and reveals a tattoo on his chest that causes her to recoil. Upstairs, Raymond tells Rebecca the truth. The woman is not alive and died long ago, and her blood is required to prevent further deaths. He then delivers a sobering reality. Rebecca will never be fully free of the demons, but she can learn to live above the fear. She steps outside and watches ordinary people moving through a nearby park and smiles. Then she glances into a patch of brush, and a grinning demonic figure stares back at her. She holds its gaze for a brief moment, then turns and walks calmly back into the mortuary. The darkness, it seems, is permanent company. Now here are my thoughts on the movie. Directed by Jeremiah Kipp, the filmmaker behind the Shudder original Slapface, which earned an audience award at the prestigious Cinequest Film Festival, The Mortuary Assistant reflects his signature blend of psychological dread and deeply human vulnerability. Kipp crafts an atmosphere that resonates most powerfully in its quieter and intimate moments, though critics noted that the film's layered demon mythology occasionally weighs down its narrative momentum. Leading the film is Willa Holland as Rebecca, best known to audiences for her long and acclaimed run as Thea Queen in the CW superhero series Arrow, and for her award-winning lead in Tiger Eyes, for which she received the Jury Award for Best Actress at the Boston International Film Festival. Holland delivers a performance of raw restraint, embodying a woman battling demons both within and without. Paul Sparks is quietly commanding as Raymond, a mentor whose methods and motives remain deliberately shrouded in mystery. Together, they anchor a film that earns its moments of unease even when its lore strains under its own weight.
This series opened at Nancy Reagan High School, where Wednesday Addams, played with chilling precision by Jenna Ortega, she finds her brother Pugsley, played by Isaac Ordonez, bound inside a locker. The instant she touches him, a psychic vision reveals his attackers, the school's water polo team. She releases 2 bags of live piranhas into their practice pool. It earns her an 8th expulsion in 5 years. Her parents, the elegantly gloomy Morticia, portrayed by Catherine Zeta-Jones, and the warmly eccentric Gomez, played by Luis Guzman, deliver their verdict. Wednesday will attend Nevermore Academy, a boarding school for outcasts, monsters, and the magnificently strange, and notably, the very institution where her parents first fell in love. Wednesday views this as a deliberate scheme to replicate their story within her own life, and she wants no part of it. Director Tim Burton and series creators Alfred Goff and Miles Miller established Nevermore as a world teeming with social factions, into none of which Wednesday neatly belongs. Her roommate, Enid Sinclair, played with infectious energy by Emma Myers, is a werewolf in progress draped in pastels and relentless optimism. Wednesday's precise opposite. The imposing Principal Weems, played by Gwendolyn Christie, watches carefully, and the dorm mother Marilyn Thornhill, portrayed by Christina Ricci, the original cinematic Wednesday of the 90s, greets her new charge with an unnerving calm. In the surrounding forest, meanwhile, an unknown creature has been stalking and killing hikers, leaving Sheriff Donovan Galpin, played by Jamie McShane, deeply unsettled. Her parents also deploy Thing, a sentient, disembodied hand, played expressively by Victor Dorobantu, to spy on Wednesday. She captures him immediately, demands his loyalty, and redirects his allegiance entirely to herself. During a mandatory therapy session in the nearby town of Jericho, Wednesday meets Tyler Galpin, the sheriff's charming son and local barista, played by Hunter Dewan. She enlists his help to escape Nevermore, using the town's Harvest Festival as cover. Their plan unravels when aggressive pilgrim-costumed townspeople scatter the crowd. In the chaos, Wednesday collides with a fellow student named Rowan, and a violent new vision seizes her. She sees him die. She races into the forest to intervene, but Rowan turns on her. His mother, a powerful seer during her own time at Nevermore, painted a prophecy depicting Wednesday destroying the school. Believing it is his duty to stop her first, Rowan pins Wednesday telekinetically against a tree. Then, before he can finish the act, the forest's lurking creature emerges and kills Rowan itself, fulfilling Wednesday's vision. The creature locks eyes with her, then vanishes. Back at Nevermore, she reflects on the creature, the prophecy, and the strange pull this place already exerts on her. Wednesday is available exclusively on Netflix. For more reviews like this, show your support to KBM International Film Review.